Hey everybody, Saigan Cat here. Please excuse the morning sun blasting off of my face. I promise you I'm not actually this pale. Um, However, I am a bit sick. My son brought home this amazing stomach crud that was bioengineered in, elementary school. So that's made for a terrible morning, and right now I'm starving, but I'm also afraid to eat anything. And being starving apparently really affects my ability to play video games well at all. Like, I've done terribly at Injustice today. I'm dropping combos worse than usual. So I'm like, I'm not going to record gameplay today. Instead, I'm going to do another Quester's Rest. A while back, a couple of people had expressed interest at the number of gaming things behind me. There are shelves, there's an empty arcade cabinet that will one day be a full arcade cabinet, things like that. And I wanted to go over some of my collection. On the one hand, I wanted to show off some of the more modern stuff that has become rare or possibly will be rare. I've discovered through the course of, my game collecting activities that games don't always just start off rare. They usually, become rare for some strange reason, like Panzer Dragoon Saga on the Sega Saturn. Well, it was at the end of the Saturn lifespan. The Saturn didn't sell many units, and it was like the last RPG created for the poor system, so there weren't really a lot of copies released, but it was probably easily found back when it came out. Earthbound on the Super Nintendo. That actually had a pretty large production run. It is rare now because over the years copies have been destroyed or thrown out. There's probably several in landfills somewhere. So it's just become kind of harder to track down, even though it's not technically a rare game. It's more difficult to find. Oh, and cool news on that one. That's going to Wii U Virtual Console, so if you haven't played Earthbound before and you're against emulators, it's available. So first thing, and this caught me off guard that it became rare, Metroid Prime Trilogy with the slipcover and collector's tin and everything. This was released on the Wii, and it added in the controls of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption to the first two games as well. So you could play all of them with the Corruption controls, which were actually really, really good. They did a really good job of utilizing the Wiimote and the nunchuck for movement in that game. It worked flawlessly. In fact, it might have been too easy with the controller. My aiming was too spot on. In fact, Corruption is the only Metroid game that I've ever gotten through without dying. And that was on my first try. It's too easy, and that's a shame. But the trilogy itself is really good, and apparently the value of this thing has really jumped up. I just kind of picked it up back when it came out because I wanted to play the original Metroid Prime with the Corruption controls, and then it sat on a shelf for years, and I saw that collectors are trying to get their hands on it lately. So there's that. More recent release, Fire Emblem Awakening. You can get it on the Nintendo Network as a download. You can purchase the game digitally, but the Fire Emblem games have really started increasing in value as of like this last year, and I'm not sure if it was because of Awakening or something else is going on, but I decided to grab it because I do intend to eventually play it. There are a lot of games that I'll pick up, even though I don't have time for them now. I will have time for them later, and I want to be able to play them in the future. Couple of good examples off of my PlayStation shelf. Xenogears and Valkyrie Profile. These are the only two copies I have ever actually seen. They're not technically rare games, they just are in high demand, and by this time, anyone who wants these games or any copies that are out there have already been picked up by, collectors like myself, people who know that they're not going to be able to find this stuff later. So it's a shame that I haven't gotten around to playing those, but I intend to, just like this one, Pandora's Tower. This one just came out. It's the last RPG being released for the Wii. Yes, they just released a Wii game. The graphics are, well, they're nothing to write home about, but From the gameplay videos I've seen, it looks like a really cool game. It's got a really cool concept to it, and it's worth checking out. I'm not going to go too in-depth to it here, but there are reviews out there. Go watch some reviews for Pandora's Tower. I decided to grab it because smaller developer, it was released by Xseed Games. No idea who they are, but you know, I used to not know who Atlas was either. Sometimes it's just good to pick up, you know, the quirky RPGs or the interesting RPGs when they come out, because you suspect this isn't a big title. This might have a smaller print run. So I'll grab it now. Case in point, Xenoblade Chronicles. This is still unopened. I want to play it, I really do. But it's already up to like $120 on Amazon and eBay, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just sell it one day and my son will go to college off of it. Who knows? This one, I'm pretty happy with this one. It's the Catherine Love is Over collector's box. This came with a bunch of cool stuff. The box itself, once you take the slipcover off, which I'm not going to spend too much time with, it looks like a delivery box for a pizza place. It comes with Vincent's boxers from the game. It comes with a great t-shirt that emptied out hearts, very gaming style. And then it's also got a Catherine pillowcase, which is still in here. But this was a fantastic game. Very, very niche title. Amazing to play through. I wouldn't say that it has the most amazing replay value, but the story is really well written and really well delivered. Okay, going a little bit older. Put on my hat for this. Oh yeah, Fatal Fury. So, been a fan of SNK fighters, Fatal Fury in particular, for a while now, but only recently I've gone back to start trying to find copies of the games. We have a Super Nintendo copy, which I actually managed to find this online, unopened, for like $3, probably heavily produced. Not really too desired these days. There's like a billion different ways you can play this game. The Super Nintendo and Genesis versions, though, did have playable boss characters. You could play as, I think, Billy. Actually, you could play as a lot more of the characters. Yeah, there are like 9 characters that were playable in this, and the original MVS version of the game in the arcades, you could only play as the Hungry Wolves, Terry, Andy, and Joe. Following that up, I do have a copy of Fatal Fury 2 for the Genesis. I have a couple more copies of the games coming in the mail. This one I got extremely lucky to find for under $80. This is Mark of the Wolves for the Dreamcast. Usually this one goes for like $80 complete. I managed to get this one complete and in pretty much like new condition for like $50, and that included shipping. So I don't know if the guy cared how much it was worth, or if he just really wanted to get rid of it and decided to undercut by like, you know, 40%. Still, I win. Not going to complain. I also have Garu Densatsu Real Bout Special Dominated Mind. This is the only one that was never released outside of Japan. The villain is modeled after, what's his name, from Clockwork Orange. I can't remember his name, but he's modeled after the main character in Clockwork Orange. And I may do an LP on that one eventually as I get better or potentially worse with the series. I'm still trying to do, you know, single credit run-throughs, and it's just Fatal Fury Special is kicking my ass. More modern options for playing these if you want to support the company. You've got the Battle Archives and Battle Archives Volume 2 for the PlayStation. Battle Archives had the original 4 games, which is Fatal Fury 2, Fatal Fury Special, which is like a, you know, Super Street Fighter 2 version of Fatal Fury 2. It unlocks the boss characters to play with. It kind of cleaned up the AI. It made the AI a hell of a lot better and tougher. And it's also got Fatal Fury 3, Road to the Final Victory on here. And then here we have the Real Bout series of Fatal Fury games, which is Real Bout Fatal Fury, Real Bout Fatal Fury Special. Again, Special is just like, you know, here's a big improvement on the game, same as the Street Fighter games get treatment on, and Real Bout 2, the newcomers. So between those and these, this is actually all the Fatal Fury games. Oh, and I have this little capsule toy of Hotaru Futaba from Mark of the Wolves. And these capsule toys range from incredibly cheap to ridiculously expensive. I'm glad I was able to get Hotaru cheap. She was one of my favorite characters in Mark of the Wolves, aside from Terry. And, oh, I cleaned house with her in King of Fighters 11. Yeah! Some of the other capsule toys and the figures go for, like, absurd amounts. Like, if you want a B. Jenny figure, those are like $80, $90. They're up there with the cost of my figures because boobs. You know, I think that's all I really have to show off at the moment. I wanted to get something recorded today, even though I'm not like in game playing mood. So this should go up shortly. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to feel better soon. I'm probably going to do a bunch of back-to-back Injustice story mode videos and just try and get that cleaned out and get back to the usual Dragon Quest stuff. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody, and take care. Again, this is the morning sun. I'm not normally this pale. I promise. Take care.